What do you do when your greatest challenge seems impossible to overcome? On hearing the Philistines' words, Saul and all the Israelites were dismayed and terrified. The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine. So David triumphed over the Philistine with a sling and a stone. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. What giant are you facing today? Drop it in the comments and let's stand in faith together. If this video inspired you, share and subscribe for more faith-filled content.
Hello there, I'm Noah, the art guy. I was just an ordinary man living an ordinary life, that is until God gave me an extraordinary task.
Noah, make yourself an ark of gopher wood. I will bring a flood of waters upon the earth.
I was shocked, but I knew I had to obey, so I started building.
Look at crazy Noah, building a boat in the middle of nowhere.
There's not even any water around here.
The mockery was hard to bear, but I kept my faith. My family stood by me even when times got tough. Finally, after years of work, the ark was complete, but still no rain came. We waited, and waited, and waited some more. Then one day, it happened. The rain started falling, and it didn't stop. As the waters rose, I realized that my obedience had saved not just my family, but all these animals too. For 40 days and 40 nights, we floated on the endless sea. When the flood finally ended and we saw the rainbow, I understood the true power of faith. God had kept his promise, just as he always does. So remember, even when others doubt you, stay true to what you believe. You never know what incredible things might happen. After all, if I can build an ark, imagine what you can do with a little faith.
What if God told you to leave everything behind for a promise you couldn't see? Would you trust him? Abraham's journey begins in Genesis 12. 1. 2. As God commands him.
Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you. I will make you into a great nation.
Abraham and Sarah struggled with waiting on God's promise. In Genesis 15, 5, 6, God takes Abraham outside, points to the stars and declares,
So shall your offspring be.
They had moments of doubt, like Sarah's laughter in Genesis 18:12. Yet God remained faithful, and Isaac was finally born in Genesis 21, 1, 3. Even when the promise seems delayed, God is faithful to fulfill what he has spoken. Just as Abraham believed, we too must trust in God's perfect timing, as Romans 4:20-21 says.
20:21. Yet he did not waver through unbelief regarding the promise of God, but was strengthened in his faith.
What promise are you waiting on? Trust in God and stand firm in faith. Comment below with your favorite Bible verse on faith, and if this video inspired you, like, share, and subscribe for more powerful Bible stories. I am Joshua, leader of the Israelites, and I must admit, I had my doubts about God's plan. The walls of Jericho stood before us, impossibly high and strong. We had wandered in the desert for 40 years, and now this was our first great test in the Promised Land. God's instructions seemed unusual, to say the least. March around this city for 6 days, he said. On the 7th day, shout, and the walls will fall. We obeyed, though many of us wondered if this was truly the path to victory. Each day, we circled the city once, in complete silence. The people of Jericho must have thought we were mad. For 6 days we marched, enduring the taunts from Jericho's walls. On the 7th day, as we prepared for our final march, I felt a stirring in my heart. This was the moment of truth. Would our faith be rewarded? We circled the city 7 times, our anticipation building with each round. As one, we raised our voices in a mighty shout, and then the impossible happened. The walls, they simply collapsed before our eyes. In that moment, I understood. Our strength wasn't in our arms, but in our faith. God's ways are higher than ours, and when we trust Him completely, He brings miraculous breakthroughs. What walls stand before you today? Remember, with faith, even the mightiest walls can fall. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding.
I am Joseph, once a dreamer, now a ruler. My journey, well, it's been quite something. As a young man, I was my father's favorite, gifted with dreams of future greatness. But my brothers, they saw only a threat. Their jealousy turned to betrayal. I can still feel the rough ropes on my wrists as they pulled me from the pit. Sold into slavery, I found myself in Egypt, serving in Potiphar's house. In Potiphar's house, I learned to serve with diligence and integrity, even in the midst of adversity. Even there, God's favor was with me. But false accusations led me to prison. The cold stone walls seemed to mock my dreams of greatness. Years passed, yet I held on to my faith. God had a plan, even if I couldn't see it. In the depths of that dungeon, I learned to trust in something greater than myself. Then came Pharaoh's dream, a chance to use the gift God had given me. As I stood before Pharaoh, I felt God's presence stronger than ever. His wisdom flowed through me. Suddenly, I was no longer a prisoner, but the second most powerful man in Egypt. The years of plenty and famine came, just as God had shown in the dream. When famine struck, my brothers came seeking help. They didn't recognize me. In that moment, I understood. Every trial had led me here to save my family and many others. The pain of betrayal melted away, replaced by the joy of reunion and forgiveness. Through it all, God was working for good. His plan was greater than I could have imagined. From slave to ruler, from betrayed to redeemer, this was God's story all along. So remember, in your darkest moments, hold on to faith. God's not finished with your story yet. Trust in His plan, for it may lead you to places you never dreamed possible.
I was just a boy when it happened, when God parted the Red Sea. It's a story I'll never forget.
Mama, why are we leaving our home?
We must flee, my son. Pharaoh has finally let us go.
But where will we go?
To the Promised Land where we'll be free.
We traveled for days, following Moses, until we reached the shore of the Red Sea.
Look, we can't go any further. The sea is too big. Mama, I'm scared. soldiers are coming!
They're right behind us. We're trapped.
Do not be afraid. Stand firm and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today.
And then, just when we thought all hope was lost,
Look! The sea! It's moving!
It's a miracle.
God is making a path for us.
Walk, children of Israel, walk on dry ground through the sea.
The ground is dry. How is this possible?
we walked between walls of water, fish swimming beside us.
We're safe! We made it across!
So remember, my little ones, when you face your own Red Seas in life, trust in God. He will make a way.
Hi there. I'm Moses. You know, the guy with the staff and the burning bush story? Yeah, that's me. I wasn't always this confident, believe me. In fact, I was just a simple shepherd minding my own business. Day in, day out, same old routine. Sheep, grass, more sheep. Not exactly the most exciting life. Then one day I saw something incredible, a bush on fire, but it wasn't burning up. I thought, am I seeing things? Maybe I've been out in the sun too long.
Moses,
Here I am.
I'm sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people out of Egypt.
Who? Me? But I'm nobody. I can't speak well. What if they don't believe me? I mean, come on. Me leading a whole nation. I can barely lead these sheep.
I will be with you. I will give you the words to say.
But, okay, God, if you say so. I was terrified, but something inside me changed at that moment. It wasn't that I suddenly became brave or eloquent. I was still the same old Moses. But I realized that with God by my side, maybe, just maybe, I could do this. Looking back, I realize God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. He took a stammering shepherd and used him to lead a nation to freedom. If you're feeling inadequate for what God's asking of you, remember, He will equip you, guide you, and be with you every step of the way. Trust me, if He could use someone like me, He can certainly use you. So, are you ready to answer God's call in your life?